Okay, so we're recording.
Dobrze.
I'll be sharing my screen.
Okay.
And as agreed, we're going to start with the Spark platform from National Geographic Learning. So everybody at school, I said I would be speaking Polish and I switch into English automatically. Okay, so let's stick to English and we'll see about that.
Okay.
Okay, so you go to learn.elt.com and you log in with your login details that either have been provided by me or you should receive some kind of notification from National Geographic Learning. I, as the admin, have created your user account, so you should be able to go there and see what you've got. This is a teacher's platform. This is the dashboard of a teacher, so you see the features you've got. This is the main dashboard where I can see active courses or the ones that are marked with stars. In my context, these are the ones that I use currently. And you can also look at the expired and so on. These are all the courses that are available. So again, as an admin, I can see all of them here. And yes, this is the most.
I will see only look for, right? Like
You should see only look for where you assign. Okay, so you're going to see this one. So this is last year. As you can see, it expired. That's why it's not showing there, this particular one. So if you click on this one, this is the course website. It says here launch course. Now we're not going to launch it because it has already been launched. In your case, actually, it's, wait, I don't see it from my view because this is not the admin's view, but it's there. You have to believe me. This is the old one. So we're going to use this as an example because there are some students. In your case, there won't be any students, but it'll be active and you won't be able to launch it because it has already been launched. So there are two main features that Spark, the platform, offers. This is classroom presentation tool. And these are teacher resources and these are grade books. So let's start with classroom presentation tool. So this is something that comes with every book and all the National Geographic books we have some sort of classroom presentation tool. I'm not talking about Impact because Impact was the first one and it's not there yet. So we can't have Impact, but we're talking about new close-up series and look series. Yeah, it's all there. So if you click on this one, it should load. And you can see all the units you've got in your series. So you want to go to your desired unit. Of course, you can look at the workbook or the student book. So we're going to click on the student book, and then you have to find out what exactly you need. So if you have your book somewhere in front of you, you might be aware that, okay, this is divided into lessons. However, I would say that, okay, this is the thing we were doing with them yesterday. So it's not actually one lesson. I mean, it could be. However, this particular grammar section usually takes more than just one lesson. It should load a bit faster than this, but bear in mind that there's a lot of content being uploaded. So it's always a good idea to click on this one before the lesson, before you start the lesson, so that it comes in handy. Okay, so this is exactly what the student book looks like in the paper version, but you've got the access to this, for example, to display to students. You can zoom in by choosing this, and what you want to zoom in, you can zoom out with pluses and minuses. Of course, you can go back to the regular view by, I think, like this. Okay, and by this is zoom off. Okay, you can use some kind of tools they offer. So I guess that's obvious what you can see here. You can put some pens and you can draw. You can choose the color. You can circle things and draw on this one. Okay.
Okay.
I don't think I don't recall ever using any of these tools. However, they are here for you to choose.
Okay.
You can go to this one. This is single page display, double page displays, whatever suits you better. If you showing this on the TV screen, it's usually better to just zoom in for the kids. So, for example, we have this exercise here, and as you can see, some of those things are interactive. And this is probably the main advantage of classroom presentation tools, because actually we have the PDF version of the book. So if you want to, for example, show the answers, the easiest and simplest thing would be just to show them PDF of exercise number 2. But in this case, this is an interactive one. So for example, when I'm teaching Look, I don't have to look for my file with my folder with my audio, because once I click it, it should play there automatically. However, I don't think I'm sharing the sound, so I'm going to share the sound with you. And if I click on
this man isn't jumping out of a plane for fun.
you should hear it. Yeah. So this is of course quite a nice tool to be used if you, for example, teaching online, because you can imagine that, for example, if this was our online lesson, I could show you the book, I could play the tracks for you, and everything is here. You can also close this and click here. As you can see, every exercise, I mean, most of them would have a little bit of this 3 dots next to it. And if you click on this one, that means, and this is something I'm not a big fan of, that you get teleported to a separate window for the exercise. So again, you've got the file here, and you can mark the students' answers accordingly as they do it. So for example, when I was doing this in our last lesson, I showed them this page, I played the track, and then I told all the students, okay, what have you got for number 1, true or false? What have you got for number 2? And once I've got all the answers here, I can go to wait, is this all the answers? That should be all. And I can check the answers. And as you can see, wow, that's it. So just by wild guessing, I'll manage to score 4 out of 6. So this is something also very useful if you want to use it in the classroom and check it at the same time. Different exercises are also available here. So this one would require you to type your answer, as the instruction says, with present simple, present continuous. This is a crazy exercise, I have to say, because yes, present simple and present continuous with Kids 4 is a killer task. So I don't expect them to be any close to 80% correct answers. We have to just give them this thing the book says. We use present continuous for action at the moment of speaking, and we use present simple for habits. And if they manage to memorize these two, if they manage to memorize that there is a verb, there is aren't and fighting in continuous, that's what we want to do. But we don't expect them actually to get this one right after the lesson. Okay, zoom off, and we're back here. And with these, you can go to the next page, and basically you can do all the book like this. Here's the switch to your workbook. So if you press this one, it will take you to, and this is what I like, the corresponding workbook page. So this is also quite useful. For example, if you're using this during the lesson and you say, okay, guys, it's time to give you a homework. So let's see, you can click here and it teleports you to the workbook and say, okay, so your workbook is page 12 and page 13. And back to the student book like this. And this is it. This is classroom presentation tool as it goes. Here are some options. I don't really know what they mean. Oh, you've got student book and workbook. Here is the choice of going wherever you want to go. We're going to go back to our file here. And we're going to go into teacher resources. So you've got a couple of interesting things you can download here for your lesson. Usually the audio and stories and things, but those things are also in the teacher's book. Okay, what we really need to use in the classroom, this is grade books and assignments. Okay, so you will have a display of a student's performance in the given time. So if you click on the students, you will hear all the results and on the tasks that the student did. Score is obvious, progress is obvious, so how much the students have done, and the time is here. Of course, you have to bear in mind that this shows the time that the browser is opened on this website. So if the student forgets to shut down the browser, that will generate massive time here. So Zuzia here, well, she didn't do much work online, but you have to remember, this is very important, that the students do it if they want to, because they've got their workbook, and this is our main focus. This at Look4 comes as a bonus exercise. So we tell them about it, the parents will receive a joining code for them to join the class, and some of the students like it. I remember that there was, for example, Tobias here with amazing 9 hours working. Shimon here represents this case I told you about, that he spent too much time with the browser open and only 11%. That's obvious that that's not the case. So you can see that some of them went there, just checked that, and that was it with 2 minutes here. But some of the students really liked that and spent significant amount of time just doing the things they do. In this course, which means Look4, we open the access to everything they have. So that means you don't assign your homework. But as we are trying to have a short demo of how to use this one, I'd like to address assignments as well. So if you go to your teachers panel, if you go to assignment, you can click new assignment. You can name it. So let's say I'm going to call it grammar. You can take some notes, for example, make sure you read page 113 before. You can set the start date and the end date. As you can see, it automatically gives them a month, and I say that this is a fair amount of time. Then you go to content selection, where you have to choose the available courses. In this case, I've got Close-Up B1, so let's go with this one. Again, I have to close this, and there is the choice of the particular unit, and this is quite challenging thing because you have to know exactly what you want to assign. If I turn this on, that means that all unit has been assigned. So I don't want to give them such big homework. So I'm going to go into this one. If I drop the menu down, I will see the reading, vocabulary, grammar, listening, and exams. And I can even go deeper and preview an exercise and decide if I want to give them the whole vocabulary section or just this particular exercise. I usually, if I go with this, I usually know what I'm assigning. So for example, I was thinking about the grammar. So I'm going to click grammar, and all the 5 exercises for grammar have been chosen. For unit number 2 grammar, which is good. And I'm ready to go. Click continue. Then you can assign it to all the students, or you can even assign it to particular students. So this is also a nice feature. Of course, with your groups, we're going to this one. If I click this, and if I click assign, that will mean that this homework has been assigned, and they will be notified about this one. And then later on, I can go into my dashboard. I can choose my, I can choose my course and this, and I can check the workbook. They work with the gradebook I showed you. Okay, so this is Igor, this is Hania, and this is their progress. As you can see, Hania is demonstrating a nice work here. Well, Igor is not a huge fan of working online, so the average score is like this. Now, why do we need this? Well, we need this with our groups, kids 4 and above, because this is perfect source of information on the progress. Because if I, or maybe on Hania, if I click on Hania, if I click on Hannah here, that's her gradebook, and this is perfect source of information. For example, to give her a grade, okay? I can see that her performance is 100%, 100%, and 40%. I can preview this exercise, see what the problems are, address the problems and tell them, okay, this was good. This is something that you need to work on. So that's the first thing. But second thing is I can actually take these and transport them into the gradebook. And now this is it when it comes to the platform called Spark from National Geographic Learning for Look and Close-Up courses. I'm going to stop recording right now.
Okay.
Unless you have any questions.
I have questions only related with Kids 4. Like, as I remember, grades are not like good thing for such young learners, I would say. Yeah, so should I